My destruction brings creation, Kalima. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Wisteria here. Hit that like and subscribe and share because it really helps. Please, thank you. So we're continuing with the Dark Goddess, and on the first one we just covered some very basic points on why feminine energy is important. You'd have to go back and take a look at that, obviously, to understand. But one of the final things that we need to deal with if we're going to work with the Dark Goddess, we have to bear in mind that it's like working with your shadow side. So a shadow side is the parts of us that we usually don't want to believe exist. We usually don't want to think that we have that in us as a person because it means the negative points. Well, actually, every negative there's a positive, and positive there's a negative, so we need those parts of us. They'll be there for a reason. You have to look at the shadow side as like a protector. They will come out of you when your spirit feels like it needs protecting. I don't mean like there's a spirit that comes out of you. Please don't think I mean that. I don't. What I mean is it's that side of us that we use to defend ourselves more than anything. We have many different ways of thinking, and it depends on you as a person where your shadow side fits. So, for an example, if you, let's say you've been hurt and you can't get close to anybody in life, yet you can be caring and nurturing and you can show all those qualities, your shadow side would come through by putting a barrier up so you couldn't get close to anyone, which can make you step away from people, and then they think they've done something wrong and they haven't. It's just your defense mechanism kicking in and stepping you away. That's part of the shadow side. So obviously, to work with the shadow side, you can choose a dark goddess to work with, and there's many you can choose from. But one of the main things that you have to do is you definitely have to walk through all of your fears in order to get rid of them. You need to look at problems, but when you look at them, go beyond what you're comfortable with. Take courage and go past that, because facing your fears and your innermost part of you, it really does reclaim bits of you that you think were lost, that you didn't know existed even sometimes. If we look at Kalima, many know Kalima, and she will take you across deep darkness. But from that fear and that resistance, she will bring out a new shine, a new you, a better you. She will learn for you to deal with your emotions. It's about making you feel comfortable to analyse how you feel and doing what you need to do to get through that. Scream, cry, yell. Dig your hands into the dirt and literally scream your lungs out if you have to. But embrace it so that you can get past it. Do something that's going to help you get past it. To do that, you're letting go. So any blockage that's created within you, you'll be able to move past them. You'll be able to grow, make changes, let that past go. We always fear the unknown. That's a dead certain for just humans, isn't it, in general? We fear the unknown. But getting past that, the whole point of it is that you can reclaim the pieces of yourself that have been hidden, that have been in darkness, and you can open yourself up to a different side of you. And that does not have to be a negative side of you, because that's not how it works. To work with Kalima, she will teach you to embrace and the dualistic nature of life. She will teach you to let go. She'll show you different ways of doing things. Kalima is destruction, but also creation. She is both. Most goddesses are, but she above all can be many faces, many faces. She will definitely help you get past obstacles. She'll empower you to stand up for what's right. She will teach you wisdom and courage. But she'll also learn you that you have to set boundaries. Don't let people take advantage of your kindness, because kindness can be mistaken for weakness, and that's not true. Very, very different things. To work with Kali, or Kalima, whichever you prefer to call her, usually she loves red hibiscus flowers, coconut rice. You'll need a pen and an ink pot, and an image of Kali is obviously a good idea. An earthen lamp, she's very much connected to the earth, that's just her way. And incense sticks are always good. You need that sacred space. Sprinkle it with salt water, and I don't just mean any salt water. You don't just go to shop and buy table salt. That's not how it works. Himalayan salt, consecrated, left under the full moon. There's things on my channel regarding consecration, what you can do. But the ritual area, ideally, you want to place her image. It needs to be clean and cleansed and ready. Pop a plate on the altar, a small cup of rice, some spring water or rainwater if you can, salt and flowers, keep those on there as well. When you're working with Kali, wear black. That's more traditional colours that are used, black. If you're not comfortable with being naked, of course, naked is better. But if not, then a black cloak, something, a long black flowing dress even, but yeah. You can light your incense stick and sit in silence. And you can invoke Kali. You can meditate, obviously, on her image and meditate on bringing her in. You can chant the Kalima Mantra and make an offering. I have that, but we're not going to go that deep yet. I'm not about to give you words that you may not understand. The idea is that you will be creating a ritual. You will offer food and drink to her. You can also consume the food and drink with her while you're at the ritual, or even after the ritual. But usually she likes something left just for her, which are like sweets, fish, lentils, maybe even some wine, things like that. By meditating on Kali's image that you put on your altar, the idea is you need to gaze at the image and bring that energy in. It can be hard and it can take time, but you have to have patience. Her energy is very strong, so when she comes forth, you will feel her energy. You'll notice, it might even be small at first, a change of breath, a different smell in the air, a shift in the emotions, a shift in the energy. If you're an energy worker, you'll know what that means. But you'll definitely notice that there are things happening around you, and any messages that come through, you'll just know. It will happen in a way that you will know. Kalima is one of the great goddesses, and to work with her is it's something else. You definitely feel the difference. And if you want to have a sort of come in, and you need to bring that energy in and let her draw any negative energy out of you, and she'll fill you with clarity and compassion and love and enlightenment. She can do that too. Remember, she's destruction, but she's also a creator. It's always good to journal everything that happens. If you want to chant Kalima Mantra, I will tell you that at the end. One that's used. There are many used, but one that you can use to sit in silence and chant for Kali to come. Make sure that you do journal everything, the slightest thing. Things that you can put in your journal. If you wanted to, you could even put them in beforehand and see what happens afterwards. So, for example, you can put questions in there like, what scares me the most right now? Find things about you that you didn't want to deal with. What is it that I'm ready to release? Like, really ready to release. Something that you really want to get rid of, but you feel attached to, for example. what could I do to be happier? Things like this. You could write in before or after, but it's usually good to write in before and find out what your shadow side really wants to say rather than what you in the light side wants to say, because you'll find there are two very different answers. Once you've journaled and you've got all that together, it's really important that you cleanse yourself and cleanse your space. Whichever way you work with any goddess, regardless, the cleansing is very important. Now, when it comes to Kali, you can also do yoga, because there is a yoga that's to connect with our divine feminine, mainly driven from the goddess Kalima. And it's the Utkarta Konasana. That's the goddess pose. Maybe it would be easy to do a video and show you, but you can look it up. Look up the goddess pose of Kalima and you'll find it. It's a very good pose. You won't probably be successful like the first time of doing it. It'll take a while. Sometimes it can take days, weeks or months. It depends on you as a person. It depends how ready you are to connect with this energy. It depends how ready you think you are to face it, you know. We're all very, very different, so it really does depend. But that is one of the other ways that they do connect with Kalima's energy. It is the goddess pose, Utkarta Konasana. And if you can find a picture of Kalima, please bear in mind that Kalima has many faces. And because she has many faces, you may find one you're drawn to more than the other. That's kind of personal preference. Even using the deck, I have a deck, oracle cards that are Kalima. And every single Kalima in there is different, and she stands for a different purpose. She's a different colour. Everything about her is different. So think about that as well when you're choosing. But you also need to remember that Kalima she's an heavy energy. She's very earthly, wild. She's not restrained in any way. She is a wild woman. She was a wild woman, the goddess Kalima, and only work with her if you're sure you are ready to destroy things and rebuild. And I don't mean that as in like, I'm going to go and destroy a building. I mean in yourself as a person. You're ready to break down those barriers and then rebuild a new you. So a mantra that you can use to call in Kalima is Om Krim Kalikai Nama. Or Name. It kind of depends how you pronounce it, but Om Krim Kalikaya Nama. Like that's usually better. But there's many different ones that you can use. So it depends. You can go and look. You'll find many mantras. You'll find many mudras. That's just one of many. Om Krim Kalikaya Nama. And you would chant it. So it would be a repetitive thing. I usually find that if you have a hand-beaten singing bowl, that works wonders. You don't really need to know the notes of it, because to believe it or not, most hand-beaten ones, they have all the notes in there, but they settle on a bass note. But, yeah, by using mantras, they are very powerful. They will help bring in the energy. But that's just Kalima and what she's like. And like I said, bear in mind, she's a very heavy energy. So that's her as a goddess, I guess. So thank you for listening. We will go one by one. I don't want to overload you with information because that just gets confusing. But thank you for listening. That's how to work with her, Kalima, the goddess. Many blessings. My destruction brings creation, Kalima.